Mark Rogers TV on Michigan football 2012. And how about those Wolverines? Are they back to the elite of college football? 11-2 with a Sugar Bowl win. Michigan's first postseason win since defeating Florida at the end of the '07 campaign. Michigan's first top 10 finish since '06. Delve a little bit deeper and we're far less impressed. Michigan's two marquee wins were over Notre Dame and Nebraska, two very flawed football teams. They missed Wisconsin, the best team in the Big Ten, lost to Michigan State by 2 touchdowns, lost to a 6-7 Iowa team, and barely escaped Ohio State, winning over the Buckeyes for the first time since '03. And of course, Ohio State way down at 6-7. The real difference in Michigan football last season, coaching. Brady Hoke took over and instilled confidence in this team. They were prepared to play Big Ten football week in, week out, and mentally tough for the first time in years. And what about the work of defensive coordinator Greg Mattison from the Baltimore Ravens? He takes over, and Michigan football does a complete turnaround on defense. The Wolverines were flat out atrocious in '08, '09, and '10, worst in the Big Ten. I don't care what the stats say. And Mattison made this defense legitimately a top 10 or 15 defense nationally. Okay, what about 2012 on defense? We start with the defense, and on the line with Martin and Van Bergen gone. They will be huge losses. They were stout, experienced, and strong in the middle, run stuffers. Frank Clark and Brendan Byer on the outside give this defensive line a different look. They're quick and fast. They will provide a speed rush like we haven't seen in Ann Arbor, but again, Michigan could be soft in the middle. Linebacker Kenny Demmons, he mans the middle at the linebacking core. He had 94 stops and 3 sacks. He's flanked on the outside by Jake Ryan and also Desmond Morgan. All 3 of those linebackers started across the board last season, so a lot of experience in the back 7. And J.T. Floyd at the corner along with Blake Countess are special players. Michigan very deep at defensive back. Even the younger guys are 4- and 5-star recruits. Let's get to the offense, and it all begins with shoelaces. Denard Robinson, 1,100 yards rushing, 14 touchdowns on the ground, 20 through the air, 15 picks. We know what this guy is. He's not an NFL next-level quarterback. Never will be. He says he has worked on his footwork and his mechanics, but he will never be that guy. He is what he is. He's a game changer. Reduce the picks from 15 to, say, single digits, and Denard Robinson could take Michigan to the next level. He's got some help in the backfield, running the football for the first time with Fitzgerald Toissant, who had 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns. He's the best Wolverine back we've seen since Mike Hart. He's backed up by Vincent Smith. He's a really good back as well. The only thing here is Michigan a bit smallish at the running back position. Difficult to get the 3rd and short carries because both these guys under 200 pounds. They are fast, though. At wide receiver, Michigan is pretty marginal, and we're talking about a school that has produced just about the best wide receiver talent, arguably, in the nation in the past 20 years. Roundtree is the most experienced. He had 72 catches a few years ago, but only 19 last season. Jeremy Gallen with 31. And you also have Gerald Robinson, the 3rd wideout. So these guys need to step up. This was the weak link on the football team last season. The offensive line is strong and should be again in 2012. Brendan Gibbons, the kicker. The last time we saw Gibbons, he split the uprights in the Superdome in defeating Virginia Tech in the Sugar Bowl. Gibbons does not have a big leg, but he's consistent, hit on 13 of 17. Here's the deal with Michigan football. Rich Rod recruited well, top 15 classes. Brady Hoke has stepped it up even more than that. Top 5 class last season. He's looking at an even better class coming up in 2013. If some of those guys can fill the gaps on special teams, and maybe one of those 2 guys, or a few of those guys, can break on the scene and become impact players in their first year, Michigan could have a special season. But they've got the tough non-conference schedule beginning with Alabama and a date at Notre Dame. So we're going 9-3 for Michigan. Wisconsin and Michigan State still a bit better than the Wolverines. But Michigan wins 9, loses 3. That's our take on the Wolverines. Would love to hear what you have to say about Michigan's resurgence, Big Ten football and college football in general, here on Mark Rogers TV.